Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the next Catributors podcast. This week with reoccurring guest Clyde.
Hello.
We've tricked him into returning once again.
Well,
Yes.
I kind of forgot last time, so that was a busy day.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a busy last 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the joint vacation in Norway, so we've been away.
But we are back with some dev blogs to start with, and the first one is going to be the new dockyard. The Puerto Rico is coming back.
This time it's
Yeah.
going to be less Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's an awesome camo as well. Oh, I just saw.
I
Nice.
mean, the thing is, you still need to pay for 6 stages. Not sure if they've said how. Oh yeah, the 1,750 doubloons for each phase. Although there's probably a discount for like a starting pack or something like that. Usually,
Yeah, I imagine they'll do that. That's their usual thing.
I mean, the question is how grind is going to be. I have to say, Atlantico, like what was it before the Atlantico? That was, I felt like pretty easy to grind out. But the Atlantico in itself, like the last thing, I mean, just like I play the game about 4 nights a week for like around 3 hours. And with that amount of playing, without focusing it, like without actually targeting the missions, I would have missed like the last step.
Yeah. I played co-op for the last missions. That's not like me.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus.
the Atlantico was one where the grind was... It was... The sad part about this is, right, because you have like 2 starting packs, sorta, and if you buy the cheap one, then you need to grind out every mission, and then if you... Well, I mean, you can still buy the last ship phase, but it's a bit... If you play like quite a bit, then you expect usually to make it through the dockyard, because, you know, that's why you can't finish it all for free anyway. They charge you for the last phases, because you're supposed to be able to relatively realistically grind through the whole thing if you play.
I mean, you know, lest we forget, it's the original Puerto Rico dockyard that kind of brought about all those changes, the backlash against it.
Yes. So we will see how grindy it is this time. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's overly grindy once again, but we'll see. We'll see.
I
I mean,
probably won't buy into it. Wait, you get the balloons, right, if you get the ship, I assume?
You
It
can
does
actually
say,
choose.
yes, there's like you get a special, what is it, they call it a certificate, something like that. So yeah, you can essentially choose
I read
what you
that.
want to have as compensation, which is quite good. I think
Yes.
that's the first time they've done that.
And I guess
Oh,
there's
yeah.
still steal as rewards as you go, so that's kind of valuable.
Yeah, but like if you have the Puerto Rico already and you go through the entire missions, then you can choose, I think, between the balloon steel and what was I think there was a third. Was it research
Coal,
points?
maybe?
Oh, okay.
Coal research points, something like that, yeah.
I mean, it has to be, should be somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah, I'm reading
right.
it now, yeah.
35,000 doubloons, 33,000 steel, or 63,000 research points, or 264,000 coal. I mean, 33,000 steel, that's a lot
That's
of
a
steel.
lot. That's a lot.
I mean, they are really targeting the people who have already whaled the Puerto Rico in the past, and they're like, guys,
I didn't do that.
steel.
Luckily, we were CCs back then, so we could pay ourselves up for free.
No, I
Still don't have the
didn't get
Puerto
it.
Rico, so this would be the first time getting it for me.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, you
still not
missed
sure
it?
if I'm...
I was there, but I was so dissatisfied at the. It was probably very petty of me, but I was so dissatisfied at the way they did it that I was like, well, you know, I know you're giving us these doubloons, but I'm just going to spend them on other stuff.
Yeah,
So
I
I
also
did.
didn't get it. And I'm not even sure if I'll get it this time, because I'm not that interested in the ship itself, to be honest.
I don't play it too often. I'd rather play the Alaska. But right now, 10-9 is kind of shit though because of the super ships. But I used to play the Alaska in front of the Puerto Rico every time. I probably have less than 20 games in it. So, yeah.
On a more positive note, you can get a free ship, and that's the Huron. The Huron will be with base 25, so I suppose that's pretty realistically reachable for most people. So,
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
mean, last time we had the repulse. So this policy all this way they've decided to do it of having like 2 ships available and actually having one of the ships be pretty easy to get to. I'm quite in favour of that. I think that's quite nice for the more casual player that doesn't necessarily that doesn't even want to pay to unlock the whole thing. There's at least something for them to participate in and get towards that's a lot easier to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like if you only want to engage into the free stuff, you still get cool stuff, right? You even get a free ship, and not even like an old one, but a brand new one that nobody has yet, basically. And then if you want to go all the way and spend some money, you can get a discounted ships order. So I'm not against how they do dockyards these days. It's just as long as the grind is in a reasonable level.
Yeah, it wasn't that terrible last time, but a bit grindy. Kind of levels out after some more easier ones. The ones we had before. That's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Atlantico was still doable. It was just a bit more on the harsher side.
And I didn't play that much either at that time of life.
Then we have a new clan battle season, but none of us really play clan battles.
Nah.
Yeah, tier 8, 6v6, no aircraft carriers, 1 battleship per team.
It's kind of fun playing clan battles, but it's hard to run a community clan, casual clan, and nobody is ready for clan battles anyways.
It all goes back. I mean, this goes way back to when clans were first introduced, and it was initially 30, and I think it's still 30 for a new clan. You have to kind of work your way up to.
Oh, we had team battles before clan battles, though.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I was certainly one of those people that was like, well, why don't you just make it like World of Tanks and have it, 100 people, and it makes it then far more easier.
War Thunder we have 128.
Well, exactly. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that, and I still don't know why they didn't do that.
Nah, we have a bunch of guys from the World of Warships clan in my clan on War Thunder, but we still have space for like 100 more people. So we have a bunch of random people. I don't even know who is.
I mean, Warships just doesn't like making sense, usually.
Nah.
Yeah, it's something they've never really wanted to budge on, and it's weird. Like it would be so much easier to have.
I can't remember the responses we did ask on the CC Discord many times, and we did get like a response to why, but I just can't remember what it is.
I can't even remember.
I can't remember either.
It was mainly Sub Octavian I talked to him about. Me and Maka, mainly because both me and Maka is running my clan. We need more space. So we had to divide it into like 3 fucking clans.
Yep. I mean, let's be honest, maybe it would crash their entire UI or so. I could see that happening.
Like, it would surprise me.
I've been having occasionally trouble now, I think for at least half a year, when I run a division with my friends, because sometimes they don't show us online, right? They're like online, I'm online, and maybe I can see them and they can see me, or the other way around. I'm like, I can't invite you because you're not online, right? And they can send me a message. I get the message pop up, and still it shows us offline, so I can't invite them. So then, especially if we have 3 people, we have to see who can invite who, so that we can eventually make a division of 3 people, right? And I've even had one person that, like PGs, that has been removed from my friends list, I think 3 times now, without me doing anything. It's like, I'm like, you are not online. I'm like, I'm online. And I'm like, and he sends me a message, oh, no, I see you online. Why don't you show up in contacts and like add the contacts? Like, why? What? And it's just so... I don't know what's wrong with the system, but
it doesn't work. It's been like that for like years. Me and Boom is constantly struggle because me and Boom is not in the same clan. So I have to go through the contact list and he's not online, or he's not even there. I have to add him to contacts. It's Garbo. Garbo. Another thing in War Thunder that works.
I mean, in any online game like that has, well, it's supposed to be played with other people, you'd think that there was a system to communicate and especially, invite your friends and so on. It seems like such a basic thing, but I don't know. Then again, I'm not a programmer, so.
Nah.
Well, then British battleships are gonna continue as they usually do.
Yeah, we have the by now established and still utterly ridiculous event where you can get through the tokens and then you go through the whole chain, you can spend a bunch of doubloons on the various things, and then you can spend 20,000 doubloons getting the tier 10 early for a tech tree. Yeah.
People do that. People do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
20,000 doubloons. How much is that in euros?
I'm gonna look that up.
I mean, the thing is, right?
Crap.
You
It's gonna be like 40 or 50, right?
For the privilege to spend those 20,000 doubloons, you first spend usually around like 60,000 doubloons.
Oh yeah. You've got to spend a bunch to get that.
So you spend like 80,000 doubloons in general. I think it's about $250 or so that you spend if you want the tier 10 early access ship. And I mean, this is something we possibly come back to with the economic changes. So Wargaming has, with the economic changes, immediately started ripping off people, because instead of giving people free premium camos as they used to, I think some of those early bundles just give the free visuals and no longer the economic bonuses, right? So they were like, hey, you used to just get this amazing camo there that's worth, I don't know, 3,000 doubloons. Now you get the visuals that are worth 200 doubloons, and the economic bonus you better buy yourself.
Yes, so that's a downgrade as well.
Makes sense.
That kind of also ties into, and I didn't necessarily realize this was the case until you pointed it out, but if you don't have a perma camo on a ship now, you can buy one for like a tenth of the regular per tier price.
Ooh.
But after that, it goes back up to the old price. So you can spend thousands of doubloons on perma camo that has no benefit beyond the visuals. So you would think that, like, okay, the fact that the first one is vastly cheaper, okay, but you think they would at least made the regular prices like half or less.
Yeah.
But no, they're still like basically full price for just or
even less now.
I think that's something that I use the doubloons most on is permanent camos.
Yeah,
I think most of my doubloons has gone to that. Just for
Yeah,
the mods,
I-
actually. I don't care about other
I
stuff.
think that's extremely cheap of them, and hopefully they change that. But that's another way, which, like, because there's a bunch of ships where I've gotten free perma camos in the past, and it's like, well, now I could get the regular perma camo, but no, it's going to cost me like 3,000, 4,000 doubloons, and that's even before I've bought the whatchamacallit, the economic package, the bonus package. So yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I was so hoping that with like this new system, it would be so much easier to get more visuals for a cheaper price, because they no longer have the economic bonuses attached. But this is some, maybe I just misunderstood it, but originally in the dev blocks, it sounded like they're going to split like visuals and economics, right? And they're like, a camo that cost like 5,000 doubloons before costs now 4,800 for the economic and 200 for the visuals, right? But what they failed to make clear is the 200 for the visuals is only for the first visuals, right? And then if you get the second visuals, you pay 5,000 doubloons for them again, and they have obviously no economic bonuses attached because you already bought them, probably. Yeah. So it's bullshit.
It is. I mean, especially like, again, they're just once more completely missing the mark of people that, and some of the perma camos are they're quite nice, and like people who might quite happily go, oh, these are now 200, 300, 500 doubloons, right? I'm going to buy a bunch of them at that price. No, you buy one at that price, and then the price shoots up drastically. So it's not like, hey, I can sort of customize things a lot more and have the ships look how I want them and change them around on a more regular basis. No. So I don't know. I don't know why Wargaming keeps missing the mark when it comes to kind of like customizations and visuals.
No.
Especially when they have, in some cases, the actual camos and skins that you can apply. Some of them look really, really good. But it's like the marketing side is just completely failing to, or the monetization side is completely failing to capitalize on that. It's just like they don't really understand, what other games do successfully, very successfully in some cases.
Did you know that in World of Warship Legends, I just recently noticed, because I just got a nugget on the console version, and you can actually gather around enough camo from all the different camo or paints, then make a permanent camo. You don't pay for it.
Yeah, people have been suggesting that as a thing for
it's
for
a
PC
thing in Legends
versions,
apparently. So I got my permanent camo on the Nagato without paying. Pretty nice. So it's the same camos on the PC, the green with the white stripes. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got that permacam on my
Yeah. Pretty nice.
Nagato.
The ship is shit in Legends though. Don't play it.
I mean, it's not that great in.
It is. It's fantastic on PC. I was so fucking
It's
disappointed.
too squashy. If I was going to
I
play
had to
a
use
tier 7,
HE on the console. I had to use HE and do damage to terrains.
I would certainly go
was
for other
weird.
things than that, but
Yeah.
it's not the worst. There are worse tier 7s.
Nice no.
Actually, no, I'd prefer.
No.
Nice
I was
no.
thinking of like Poltava, California.
Nice is a fine ship.
No, it's not. It's not.
Nah,
I
you're
hate
just
that
playing
shit.
it wrong.
The ship hates
Just
me as well.
playing it
So.
wrong.
It's a bit weak to tier 4 carriers, but otherwise.
What's tier 4 carriers actually?
Yeah, I've met the failed division tier 4 carrier in Ignition now once. It was said I couldn't defend myself in any way or form. Like, you reinforce the
you're
things,
so
it just comes in,
traumatized by
drops
it.
you. I'm still traumatized by this. It's okay, Atlanta can't defend yourself either.
No. At least you
So-
shoot down tier 4 planes, that is.
No,
Compared
against
to
tier 4.
tier 6 and 8. Oh, yeah.
Talking of visuals, further down this article, London's had a refresh.
Yes.
Looks nice.
Um,
I'm still going to use the
and-
Twitch port.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't really like the London one that much, to be honest.
I only use 1 or 2 ports. If there's a lot of noisy background, like shooting or honking or sirens and shit, I change the port.
Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk. So the Twitch port is like completely silent.
I quite like the Fjords one.
I like
Yeah.
the fjords, but then you have the fucking steamboat all the fucking time, just chugging around.
Yes,
Oh.
I don't mind then. But the Fjords is one of my favorites too.
Yeah. Looks like the Hardanger fjords here in Norway. Pretty similar.
I've got to say, and this is slightly jumping back, but the preview permacamos for the British battleships, I'm really not very impressed by those. Like the color scheme and the pattern is quite nice, but all the extra little gubbins they've put on as decorations, it just feels really half-assed somehow. If you look at them,
Really?
like the big searchlight thing on the front, and then
Well,
Wait,
wait,
what
you
did you
might
see the
have to-
pictures?
I don't know if they'll be in an earlier dev blog somewhere. But,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, you can see them in the port
Right.
anyway, and they've got all these weird little bits of brass piping, which I guess is not too offensive, but it just, I don't know, it just feels weird. Like they
Oh, yeah, I see it
started
now.
off doing a kind of steampunk style skin, and then just kind of stopped about 20% in. And so
in
I
this stuff,
personally would just get rid of all of those bits, get rid of the weird searchlight bits, and just have that camo, which looks fine. It's a kind of, I don't know what you would call that, tan, black, red, white.
I don't know.
Quite a nice kind of.
Oh,
Fractured.
please refrain from posting links. Sorry.
So yeah, it's weird.
That was my bad.
It's not one of the better ones in terms of like the details, especially at the front. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be pistons and linkages and things, but like going to where, doing what? They don't turn. They're not visually animated. They're just kind of bolted on as an afterthought.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I have no idea how they look.
I just that's a little bit of a
Check out
gripe,
the link.
just because they it's weird. They made the actual color scheme look nice, and then kind of managed to bugger it up.
I see it in comparable to camo.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like more of the clean camos.
So I don't like the color combinations that much. Otherwise, I'm fine with it.
I mean, camos are always going to be personal preferences. So
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
that.
I mean, the incomparable one, like the... I find that a bit more questionable.
One thing I have done on a lot of my, like even the ones that I have perma camos for that I didn't like that much. There's some of the now cheaper ones. I mean, Hunter and what's the other one? It's like Splinters or something like that. Like, I've put those on quite a few of my ships because they just look quite nice as a generic camo.
Now that you can just put like the consumable camos for credits on your ship, there are quite a few that I like, that I prefer over. I mean, I'm not gonna run like any standard premium skin anymore, I think. Because, for example, the pie camo, you can put the pie camo on every ship you want.
Some of them are quite nice. I don't quite get the price grading, like why some of them are, 40 and 75, and I don't know. But yeah, some of them do look like the Jutland camo, the consumable camo looks quite nice as well, I think, on some ships. I'm still hoping we at some point move to a system like World of Tanks has, where you can choose different parts of your ship to be different colors. So you could have like the hull be one camo pattern and then maybe a plain color for your superstructure and a different plain color for your guns or something like that. That would be quite nice.
I didn't know that you could do that,
In tanks, yeah, you can put different colors or different camo patterns on different parts of your tank. But you don't have the same modularity in War Thunder as with War Thunder in terms of putting like the symbols or decals on your tank.
You can basically paint your tank dead even by using certain things, so you look dead.
I mean, Tanks also has managed to squeeze out of you like 3 times, I think, the amount of money for camos, because you have one for desert, one for like Arctic, and one for
the actual gold cost is less. And one thing we should note that even with like everyone is now slightly, well, I'm sure some people will have seen this, but everyone's now slightly worse off with their
accuracy,
their camos, because the concealment bonus got baked in to ships, but the accuracy debuff just like went away.
Yes.
Why bake the concealment thing in? Just remove it. Why do you need to bake it in? If everybody's going to be on the same terms.
Because people get used to it. Like, imagine you have to learn all of your concealments, right? Right now, if you're in a shimmer, you're like 5.6 kilometers. If you have to relearn the concealment of every ship, because now every ship has like, 4% more, that would be so annoying.
I never thought about that. Yeah, that would be annoying. Like, why am I spotted now? What the fuck? Oh, God.
So in other news, there are the camera improvements that have been announced a while back that are coming, like that you can change the viewing angle when you have a spotting plane.
I think Flamu has already done a test server video.
How many years did it take them?
I mean,
the game has been out since... Oh, when did it came out?
The public test, I don't know.
No, the game itself. Like, I've been waiting for this since the
you mean that change? Yeah. Yeah, I think that there is currently a bug with the system.
2015, was it? 2015 sounds
I've been waiting for a long time, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, finally.
Yeah, so this is going to be a great change, personally, I think. But I think people have already discovered the bug. But so far it's only a public test, so let's see if they fix it before it's on live. Then there are new settings, like you can have a field of view setting, camera height, camera flying around the ship at the start of the battle. I mean, the thing is, you could already unlock the camera and freely move around in battle. It's just utterly pointless because, you know, your ship, like if you have a camera unlocked and then you try to go after your ship with the camera, it's, you know.
Yeah. It's really useful for replays, but the fact you can do it in live battles doesn't help you at all.
Nah.
Yeah.
You can try to get some advantage to see where the ship is behind an island, for example, but
Yeah, but it would have to be spotted already.
Yeah. And I mean, if it then comes around and you are not actually basically in your ship while the enemy rushes.
And then you have the bug where people suddenly you see your ship just sailing away from the camera. That's related to that camera bug. But that's a bug that's been coming and going since the game launched. So that's always funny reading on Reddit. Just, oh, my ship disappeared in front of me. What? Oh.
And I mean, additionally, like field of view, camera height, I think there have been mods to do that. I mean, mods took them also ages to implement something like that. But, you know, that's nice, you know, if you can configure the camera the way you want.
But I'll be right back. I'm just going to get something to drink. Carry on.
No problem. So then we have a position of main battery and torpedo tubes will now be fixed when switching to airstrike mode. So does this mean that what does this mean? Does this mean your guns are no longer turning while you are like placing your airstrike?
Yeah, they don't stick in position. So I think that would be that's a good quality of life change.
Probably. Does this mean like if you lock them at a certain, like they keep turning where you have them locked in?
I guess if you actually locked them using, what's it, Control X and Control something.
Yeah.
If you'd done that, they probably wouldn't change. But if you haven't done that, and like, how many people use that control on a regular basis? It's not going to be very often. So, if it becomes the default behavior that while you're using the airstrike, either as a Dutch cruiser or ASW airstrike, that it doesn't monkey around with where your turrets are facing, because sometimes that's really annoying.
Oh yeah, definitely, because the submarine, like the problem is obviously you can't shoot the submarine, so you don't want your guns turning towards where the submarine is. You want them turning towards wherever surface ship is that you're possibly engaging at the same time. So that's definitely going to be a good thing. Also, camera angle in torpedo tubes view is now the same as in main battery view. Okay, I can live with that.
I'm guessing that means it doesn't like shift the angle down, but it's kind of hard to know if that's what they mean exactly.
That's how it. Also, alternate airstrike control enabling dynamic camera zoom depending on distance. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea if that has something to do with the airstrike on a ship or if it has something to do with planes. You know what's always really annoyed me is if you want to use the airstrike, like the depth charges. Because if you zoom in then, it sort of shares like the zoom level with your regular binoculars where you usually want to be zoomed into the max. And then for the submarine airstrike, you often want to be zoomed in not that much like things. And then if you switch between those two, it's always a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if any of this changes anything about it, but it would be nice.
Well, it's kind of hard to sometimes just based on, you know, the translation. We'll have to sort of maybe get hands-on and see what it actually looks like. I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Then, improvements to submarines. I mean, the whole hydrophone thing, there's a newer article about it, so I don't think we have to cover this right now. Because we'll come back to this. So don't worry, submarines aren't going anywhere.
Sadly.
Yeah. Improved rendering of shadows, sure.
Which presumably is going to be more taxing on graphics cards, but then it also does say that, you know, the minimum requirements have now shifted up.
Oh yeah. So now they no longer support graphics cards as old as they used to, basically. which is obviously going to be a shame for those people. It would be nice if they, but I don't know. I guess that's
That is
just how
pretty
time
old,
goes.
though.
Yeah,
Like GT4
Yeah.
GTX 460. My first proper system was a 660. And that was back in...
770 integrated graphics, 4000 HD Intel ones. Yeah, so
my first rig was
those are-
back in 2013, and that was a 660. So this is like a PC from 2010-ish.
this is not like Ubisoft,
Okay.
So it's
like
pretty old.
pulling support for games that came out 5 years ago, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have to admit, like, I wouldn't even know when a GTX 460 came out.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Like 660 just came out when I built my first proper PC, and I was 13. So 2010, 11, I don't know. Let's see. GTX, what was it, 460? Yeah. 460. Release date. July 12th, 2010.
Yeah, okay.
So 12 years ago.
enough.
12 years
That's
ago,
fair enough.
yeah. I think it's fine to remove something.
I mean, if you have a
So
12
if you're
year
running-
graphic card, it still runs.
Yeah, if you're
that's,
running a graphics card older than that and lower spec than that,
Yeah.
it might be time for an upgrade.
Yeah.
And good news! With the crypto crash, it's now actually, possible to buy a graphics card once again.
Yeah, my 970 is still worth a lot of money that my daughter is using. I can sell that for I don't know, almost the same that I bought it for used 4 or 5 years ago. I bought it used, and it's the same price now in the used market.
Wow, okay.
It's insane. So hopefully that one is still going to work fine, so I don't have to buy her a new GPU.
Probably got a couple of years on that.
Ugh. So yeah.
Then they've also added some new camels.
Well, it's not
they're
new. That's
redoing-
not new. It's not just a rename.
What were they called? The Tricronor or something like that. Those camos. They were the pre-release.
Yeah, I have those camos.
Swedish. Yeah, I've got a bunch of those as well.
Yeah.
They just updated them.
Yeah, it looks like just looking
they
at
just
it.
updated and no called, so they just renamed them.
It's kind of hard to tell exactly, but it looks like the symbol on the crest is changing.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's hard to tell if that's just the lighting on those pictures, like if they've brightened the contrast, but possibly they're changing the colors as well.
I need to launch the game. Let's see. I'm curious now.
But the actual pattern, the stripe seems to be in the same place. I think it's
only
just
the crest seems a little bit changed, maybe.
Yeah. So it's more of a refresh.
If it's that even, like it only says special permanent camouflage of researchable European destroyers as well as the small have been updated. So it
doesn't
seems
say
like it's
why
just the
they're
name.
doing this.
But it seems like it's only the name now. But I'm launching the game now, so
Why change the name?
I don't know. Because say that a lot. Why did they do that?
I don't know. They're all called Three Crowns. Maybe they want to use the Three Crowns name for something else.
Oh yeah, it was Tre Kronor. So yeah, it's been. Let's see. The game is still loading for me now. Well,
maybe a bunch of Norwegians and Danes complained or something. I don't know.
Norwegians doesn't have boats, so it's fine. Well, the one we had crashed into oil tankers, so.
Maybe they've realized that it's not actually a Swedish line, even though it sort of is.
It is a Swedish line. Nobody can change my mind. That's a Swedish DD line.
It is from what, tier 4, tier 5?
Yeah, it's only like 1 or 2 that's not the Swedish DD. And then they added the premiums just to, this is pan-European. Look, it's a Blitzcare.
Hey, there is, I think, like Austro-Hungarian tier 3 or so in there or something. Or tier 2.
Yes.
Yeah, that one as well, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Was
and
it the Holland?
There's the upcoming Spanish tier 10, which is also, I think isn't that one basically just going to be Italian? Different stats. The Alvarez order, or Alvaro, or whatever it's called.
No idea.
So show European ships.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the. That's basically I seem to remember we
so
like way back mentioned that with the Drac, and it was like, oh yeah, it's just a Capitani Romani, but with a what if some had been sold to Spain?
So I've shared the picture of the Holland as it is now in port on the Discord, so you can open the window there, Ethan. And the camo is called exterior camouflage. Yeah, it's 3 crowns, so 3 kronor, which is like the national crest of Sweden.
Yeah, but I mean, it sort of makes sense if you call it the tech trip pun European.
Yeah, but I like that camo. It looks good. It's a Swedish DD. It should have that crest. That was what's cool with it. So they kind of ruined it, I think.
We'll see how it turns out. I have no strong feelings either way.
If we knew why. If they gave a reason why.
Yeah.
It's probably because they got mocked because it's not a Swedish DD line. That's probably why.
I have no
I'm 100% sure.
I suppose it is a more kind of generic Scandinavian name for the camos now, rather than
traditions of
Swedish.
the North. Yeah, I guess, but it's still Swedish line, so
yeah, can't really argue with that.
Yeah.
Then there is a permanent camo Cloud Privateer for the Hampshire. That looks actually pretty nice, I think.
It's a camo I want, but I won't use in battle.
I've been long wanting camos that have more of an Age of Sail theme, and lo and behold, here is one, and I mostly like it as well. I'm not sure about what they've done with that front area, like the little. There's supposed to be a shield and some spears and banners coming off that kind of round bit. I'm not sure about that.
Looks like a regular
detail.
traditional bow of a sailing boat.
But I just wonder, why didn't they put on a figurehead, a ship's figurehead? It would absolutely 100% fit in really, really well with the rest of that camo scheme, instead of like the weird other things they like to put on bows sometimes.
I mean, they put the lens
have
on
an
there for some
actual
reason.
wooden figurehead. And instead it's just kind of quite bare looking, but otherwise I kind of like it.
Oh, it looks nice, but I won't wear it. But Hampshire, do I have that ship? I don't think I have.
I mean, it's, looking at the symbol, it's tier 8 premium cruiser. I don't know if we know much detail about it yet. The other one, the incomparable one, again looks okay, but I'm not sure about the colours.
Yeah, not my thing. Like the front part, I'd be okay with, but then once the yellow starts, like for me, it goes downhill.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it was a good start there. Yeah,
it's sort of it's the front looks the rear kind of looks a bit South African, and the front looks like I don't even know what in terms of colouring.
And they had a good thing going, and then they were like, "Hey, what this needs is random colours."
Red and yellow for some reason. Anyway. We also have some, like the patches and flags are not bad, but the commanders are more of the
non-traditional
fantasy commanders, shall we say.
Yeah.
But I noticed that one captain has a monkey.
He does, that's true.
Ooh. Can I zoom in on that? Let's hear.
He's got a monkey, and the monkey has goggles.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
So if you just felt the one thing that this game was missing was a captain portrait where the captain has a monkey with goggles on his shoulder, then this is going to be the update for you.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's a shame that they probably won't have a unique voiceover. Imagine like a nice very British accent.
And then you just hear a screeching monkey in the background.
Exactly, and then you just have monkey screeches in the back.
Yeah.
Just like the Kong soundtrack thing.
Yeah, but
every
in
time
good.
You shoot your
like,
hair roar.
an idea like that's in working, not in just shit.
Harry Captain, not the eye patch. Oh, that's true. Wait, was that a traditional one? Oh yeah, Cloud Privateer. Privateer is it's pirates basically. Well,
yeah,
it's
sort of,
pirates.
it's not any one specific ship, but vaguely Age of Sail themed, so not bad. I still want an HMS Victory themed camo for my for my Nelson, though. I mean, come on. That's just such a no-brainer.
Why not Warspite? You need something with a tall superstructure in the middle.
I mean,
and the back.
Warspite, one for Warspite would be nice, but Nelson and Victory, I mean, that's just kind of like, that doesn't really even need an explanation.
Yeah, like the name, yeah. Makes sense.
but like the weird shape, would that make like how do you make an Age of Sail camo for something like that?
I mean,
like imagine you try to have an Age of Sail camo
it'd
on
be
the
more the
Nelson.
hull colours than anything else.
Yeah, but
Because
it
Victory
would look
does
weird.
quite have a distinctive hull coloration.
We already have a camo that looks like a sail ship.
Yeah,
that is
the
I'm looking at the US ships now.
Colorado and the Constellation. They've got a kind
Colorado?
of vaguely USS Constitution themed camo.
Yeah, Colorado it's called Independence Day.
So that actually is I used that one on my Colorado as the main camo because I really like how that looks.
Yeah, I have the same.
I don't think it would be a problem if you had a ship with like sails on top instead of like a regular superstructure. I feel like you could design it in a way that it would not, like, I mean, obviously the model that you can shoot is not the same as the visual model always, but I think you could like rig a superstructure with sails that sort of fills the same spots.
If it was like, one or two masts and furled sails,
yeah,
I don't think you could have opened sails.
Yeah, but that's fine.
That would be too kind of visually confusing in terms of the outline. But yeah, I don't know. Some proper looking wooden masts. I don't know if they'll ever do that. I think if they do, it'll be more like what we have with that Cloud Privateer camo, where it's just kind of quite good looking on the hull, and then the superstructure's just kind of got some various patterned bits on it.
Possibly. I mean, it would be weird having like a sailing ship and then guns mounted on the deck. But I'd be fine with that. Then in other news, there are changes to test ships that we usually don't care about because they're the test ships.
Although one of them is the Alvaro de Bazan, which I'm probably butchering, but which is going to be on the European tree, Spanish.
Oh, you mean the Swedish DD tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it unlike the Italians, it's going to be it's going to have a proper gun range. It actually increased the gun range there from 11.6 to 12.6.
But they have a Spanish nation. Why would they put it in the European tree?
That's right. They have Canarias in its own nation.
Yeah, he's already a
Spanish
captain.
maybe it's going in the Spanish. Maybe it's the Delana I'm thinking of. That's
that's just the
Spanish flag.
Okay, I'm just getting confused then.
It's a big Spanish flag on the boat. How did it
one's going into the Spanish tree and the Delana is the one that's going into the European tree. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm easily confused. It's fine. Just speak slowly and use big words.
Oh wait, you're talking
Small
about
words.
Dalarna.
Small words.
The way you pronounce that is kind of weird because it's a Swedish word, Dalarna. What did you say?
Dalarna.
What did you call Dalarna? Okay.
Probably,
Yeah, I didn't. What ship is that? Like, it's that one.
Then we have some new ships announced. The American cruiser Vallejo. I don't know.
I think it's going to be Vallejo. It'll be. I mean, there's a lot of Spanish influence in some bits of, especially California. So, New Mexico.
So it sounds like it's going to be a tier 9 boost. I mean, we have the Tulsa as a tier 9 Des Moines, so they were like, hey, tier 9 boost, I guess.
Yeah, it does look like it. We don't know what that is going to come in as, but I don't know. Whole research, who knows? It will have the one difference they do notice. It's going to have the rapid spotter, which I'm guessing it means like the LASO at tier 7, where it's got a very quick cooldown on its spotter plane.
I mean, that's one of those things that I've introduced with one ship, and people were like, hey, this is a nice idea, and Wogan is like, let's lose it.
And then they never used it again until now. So, finally.
Although with booster shells at range, it's not like you're gonna hit much anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Do we have any preliminary stats for this? Firing range 16.7.
It's not too
which
bad.
for those, well, I mean, tier 10, it's going to be, I guess, fairly
Tier 9.
sneaky, but with those, well, yes, tier 9 even. But those ballistics, especially if you're using it with the spotter plane, it's going to be like stationary targets only kind of thing.
What devlog are you reading on now, by the way?
New ships closed testing.
On that one.
For
Yes, and then
11.7.
at the bottom there are the ship parameters.
Oh. There you go.
You can expand them.
There you go. Yeah.
So there's that. Then we have another European destroyer, the Velos, which is going to be Fletcher class, which was transferred to Greece in the late 50s. So we're going to have a single torpedo launcher.
It's a Fletcher class, so I'm going to love it, probably.
Yeah.
It's not a single Fletcher class I didn't like.
Let's see what the preliminary stats here are. Decent. So yeah, single quad launcher, pretty decent damage, 19,066 knots, 10.5 kilometers, 60-second reload. So you've only got one launcher, but a 60-second reload is pretty fast, especially at that tier.
Yeah.
That's probably faster than the Benham.
Yeah.
Well, but the Benham has 4 launches.
That's true. I mean, the Benham is just like the sheer number of torpedoes
you
can put out. I think that's probably even faster than the Scotland.
Possibly.
Yeah. So yeah, you won't be able to rest easy with that. Like, it's not like these are low damage torpedoes either. So, like if you know one of these is nearby, yes, it's only one spread of 5 torps, but they're going to be coming at 60-second intervals. So you're not going to have a lot of time in between. Surface detectability 6.9, which
should be pretty decent.
Yeah, with module that's gonna be 5 point something, I think. I'm not sure. I can't do the maths in my head.
Probably. It's what, like a 20%. So it should be like 5.5, 5.6.
Yeah, so I guess around what Fletcher has.
The Fletcher is, I think, 5.8.
So
it's better than
Fletcher, then.
It's more like Kagero-ish.
Yeah. It's also got a good reload time, 2.2 seconds, 38 knots. This is looking pretty strong. But these are preliminary stats.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind there are a lot of scary gunboats out these days, so we will have to see. Like, it does look like a potential destroyer hunter. If you have the very good concealment and decent guns, you can go in and shoot something and hunt it. Possibly.
It's also going to have engine boost and defensive in separate slots, unlike the US destroyers, which you have to choose.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. That you can choose. No, you can have both now. Not that it mattered that much, but...
So if you like your Fletcher, this seems like it's going to be a good one to get.
Yeah, less top focused and more like UP-ish.
Yeah. Still US ballistics, but if you've got good stealth, then you can get close enough to where those ballistics matter a lot less.
That's the thing. Ballistics on the USDDs is pretty good if you know where to lead and how much to lead.
Well,
because you can shoot over every fucking island in the game.
Yeah, it can be to your advantage, absolutely.
Yeah.
The last thing we have then is probably a long-awaited addition for some people, the Malta. Now, this was a planned post-war class of aircraft carriers that ended up getting cancelled because of defence cuts, but there were a lot of people when the British carrier line was introduced that really expected Malta to be at tier 10 instead of Audacious.
I mean,
they've had to wait a bit, those people, but here it is, I suppose.
I mean, I take one look at this, and I tell you it's going to be buffed. Like, it has 19mm plating. Although, it's plating not the deck armor, because they tried having a low deck armor with the super carriers, and then I realized carriers get sunk if they can actually take damage, so they
Oh shit!
went back on this very, very quickly.
Oh, we'll see. It says, I mean, it specifically says it's got an armored deck, and the British doctrine during that period was for armored decks. But yeah, it has large number of aircraft in the squadron and attack flight compared to the researchable British carriers. Another feature of the ship is a dive bombers attacking in a horizontal flight and carrying AP bombs. Now, what does it mean by attacking in a horizontal flight, I wonder?
Like the British style, where it's... no, wait.
Maybe.
I don't know. That would.
I mean, to me,
no.
maybe more like
it's a bad word. Maybe bad translation, probably.
Yeah, vertical is how dive bombers normally go, and horizontal is I guess how you could possibly describe skip bombers, but it specifically says dive bombers. So I wonder if they're testing out some new drop mechanic there.
So it means level bombing, not dive attack. So basically like a British CV.
I mean,
carpet bombing.
Oh, yeah, it could be carpet bomb APs, maybe. Who knows?
But why wouldn't it just say the British style bombing?
I don't know.
Because they don't, for some reason, they don't have any skip bombing. That's a German thing, apparently. So.
Okay, chat says it means level bombing, no dive attack.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it literally just means bombing. Why didn't they just say it was level bombing rather than I don't know. Poor translation.
It's almost like they never translate well sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so yay, another aircraft carrier at tier 10.
Fantastic.
Which is, I think everybody else is, everyone that's not excited by the Malta is just going, yay, another aircraft carrier at tier 10. Yay.
Also, there's an interesting tidbit there in the end. As an experiment to familiarize new players with the game, special ships identical to La Galicienne Richelieu have been added. This will be given to new players. The ships can be only used in combat training battles.
I guess to give people a flavor of higher tier ships earlier.
Possibly.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Co-op and training only, so.
I mean, it's interesting that they only chosen like a cruiser and a battleship. Maybe they think destroyers are harder to master. Then again, it would make sense to give them a chance to play something that is harder to master.
Well, DDs in co-op is kind of a waste of time, though.
That's true.
You get like low tier cruisers don't really play like high tier or even mid tier cruisers, but I guess destroyers. You get destroyers from tier 2. Maybe they felt that destroy gameplay doesn't change that much, that it's more of a smooth progression. I don't know. That's pure speculation on my part.
Maybe they'll expand it and they just chose 2 ships and they'll see how it goes.
Possibly.
Then we have the 200 years of Brazilian independence celebration. Not sure when that is, but
let's see.
They've got a lovely new updated port. Rio de Janeiro looks pretty nice, what I say.
September 7th, Brazilian date. So a while ahead, but
not that far off, I suppose.
No.
But yeah, it looks all right. It's got Cristo Redentor as a feature.
The guy on the mountain.
Yes, the big Jesus statue.
He has a name. Okay.
Yeah, it's literally it's Cristo Redentor, Christ the Redeemer.
Oh, okay. It's the guy on the rocks for me. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So that looks like it's kind of 50s, 60s themed, which ties in a lot with. Might even be earlier than that. I don't know.
I like the new camo name for the Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, there's also
Copacabana.
There's 2 camos going in with that. So the Rio de Janeiro, which that's going to be a coal ship, I believe. Or something about the very latest dev blog. We'll come to that as method of distribution for new ships. But there's a bunch of them that are going to be available for coal. And so you'll be able to, like, if you were thinking the I've already paid doubloons for the Agincourt. Well, you'll be able to get the Rio for coal. That'll be tier 5, so it won't be too bad. It's also getting that quite nice white camo with.
I love it.
So a few understated details. That's a nice one. Yeah,
I like
that is a nice one.
And black guns as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Bowels.
A little bit of gold piping around the turrets. Gold piping, as in gold line detail, rather than physical pipes that we had on that on those British camos. But yeah, the Copacabana one that actually looks really nice as well, like that kind of mosaic pattern.
And I mean,
that's nice.
It being expendable means right now you will be able to just slap it on any ship you want, right? And then just resupply with credits.
Yes,
I like those. Like we have a white camo, the anniversary camo that I usually really like using. It's like pure white, and that one's pretty nice as well.
Yeah, I've put that on a couple of ships. The solid white one.
Yeah, I have it on my JB, I believe. It's a thing I get every year. It's been a year since I started playing. What's it called? Let's see here.
So that's always nice, that kind of thing. More nice camos is nice, and it just be, as we were saying earlier, great if they would do something sensible with pricing of perma camos, but oh well.
Wait a minute. When they changed camos and stuff? That anniversary camo, that's pure white, it's just called white now. And it's expandable for the... I have 42 of them, apparently, so... That's nice because it's my most used camo. So
and that's pretty cheap one. I think the pure colored ones don't cost that many credits.
That's like right up my alley because I prefer the pure color ones, like the gray, the brown, the black, and the white.
I mean, it's basically in one category all the solid color camos they had, but I kind of. It'd be almost nice if they'd done like, here's a perma camo you can pick that that you can put on any ship, and it's just like you can pick any color. But this is fine as well. I mean, 45k doubloons is not that much. You're not going to want to put it on lower tier ships, maybe, but I mean, 45,000 doubloons, 45,000 credits.
Yeah,
but especially with what I was saying earlier with the solid color camos, it would be nice if you could have like the World of Tanks sort of paint / camo selector, so you could have like the hull be one solid color and like maybe the superstructure be a different solid color kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or the turrets be a different color.
Or just or the different patterns with different like primary, secondary, tertiary colors or so on. The problem I think is that would require actual effort on them, right? They would have to program a system. And I mean, spending time on something that people want and makes them money is not something Wargaming usually wants. They want to spend time on something that people hate and makes them money.
Yeah, that sounds right. Not that we're cynical or anything.
Then we have a new format of ship descriptions in the Armory and Premium shop. So basically, if you go into like the Armory and want to buy a ship, then they list basically highlights and what the ship is good or bad and right. So ability, main battery, secondary battery, and so on. I mean, I'm not sure how good they are in classifying their own ships, but generally speaking, not a bad idea because with people, generally speaking, I'd say if people spend their resources on a ship, they should probably inform themselves and maybe watch a review or something about it. But at least the game gives them a little bit of information what they're buying, right? They are not completely blind. It's always nice.
This just tickled a memory for me. I think I might have suggested something like this, 3 or 4 years ago, of having sort of
maybe
increased
they have
information.
Like a big ass backlog of
maybe I don't know.
They're gonna use it every time. We'll be losing audience. Let's just add this. This guy suggested that. This guy Pointy, I think is a streamer. He added that and wanted that. So
no, maybe they just have an internal timer. They're like, oh, this is a good idea. Now we have to wait 4 years until the person forgets that they suggested it, and we do it and claim credit for it ourselves.
Everybody marked down the time point. It said at 0:59-ish.
I mean, there is already this sort of feature, so it sort of makes it sense as an expansion of the, as I say, the they're formatting it similar to how they have the info cards in the tech tree. So for those that don't know, if you go into your port, for a lot of the lines, it'll have a little. Sometimes in between like different tiers or between the lines linking different branches, it'll have a little eye symbol, and you can hover over it, and it'll bring up a card, and it'll have some kind of like sort of general specifics. So if I hover over the German aircraft carriers, which I just happened to like, as a random one, it says high-speed aircraft, AP rockets, and AP bombs. So it's just kind of giving you a brief overview. And then if you click on it, you can actually then get a slightly more detailed list.
Yeah.
So I suspect it'll be formatted.
Interesting that you've just chosen carriers as an example, because carriers are not getting that feature yet.
Okay, all right.
They said something that the carriers are coming, I think, in the future, because they haven't decided yet how to best do this for carriers.
Okay. I mean, they've put some example images here as well, which is that's pretty much what they have. The example they have for the Ragnar is repair party, radar, very fast pew pew, guns with good AP, pen, no torpedoes, and no smoke generator. So just an overview. Yeah. But if you want to actually have a more nuanced view, you're still very much going to have to go and like do your own. Look on YouTube, look on the forums, look at different people's reviews and thoughts on things.
But it's just because, like, if you don't have a ship, you can, in the armory, you can like click on it before buying, and you can do show import, and then you can go over like what actually is the consumer.
Yes, I mean,
but that's just so clumsy. This is so much better, right? Like, you should see when you buy before, like, a list like this. So definitely a good thing.
And then if you want to know the very specific numbers, you can then just.
Here's a good idea, though.
You can just still see that, but
allow people to do a test drive.
I mean, World of Tanks, this is one of those things, again, when I'm going to say World of Tanks does it better, and it was only about 2 or 3 years ago where about 2 years ago, when they introduced the in-game, like the detailed comparison tool, where previously you would have to go to a third-party website. Mm-hmm. For Warships, you still have to go to a third-party website to see all the different kind of modifiers and things that you can apply to how that then affects the base stats. So that kind of thing would be really nice for Warships. It was very, very welcomed in World of Tanks, and it was much more information for the player, and it meant you could actually plan how you wanted to outfit your tanks ahead of time, instead of and do it in a more cohesive way, rather than you go in and click and see how this one thing is going to change, but you don't know how it's going to change in conjunction with this commander skill or this other bit of equipment or whatever. So that kind of thing would be pretty nice for Warships, which doesn't even you can't even necessarily get a preview of everything in the game, because I think if you're changing commander skills and you like click on the commander skill, it will in the list on the right, the detailed
it will update it.
Stats of your ship. It will tell you, but it won't do that for equipment. You have to actually put the equipment on to then see the effect of the ship.
Yeah.
So there's still that, that there isn't even that level of consistency in World of Warships yet, let alone the much more useful tools that are available in World of Tanks. So World of Warships is definitely well behind in that regard. I mean, this is a step forward, certainly, but yeah, it's definitely short of what they could be doing.
Definitely. I mean, I think I've said this in the past, like, especially with the research bureau, you'd expect that you can save a loadout of a ship in a sense, right? Like that you could just select which equipment that you'd want, and the game would save that. Mm-hmm. Because like when you reset the line, obviously you lose all of the ships, and then you have to rebuy them, and you have to re-outfit them. There isn't even a button like, just do what I had before on it, right? Which would be so simple.
Yeah,
but obviously
it would be really nice.
That
was one of the things
convenient,
that.
though.
I've probably mentioned Payday 2 before, but there was a very recent change where previously you would prestige essentially to unlock various, mostly cosmetic perks. Like the first couple of prestige levels would actually bring you a kind of material benefit, but after that it was just basically cosmetic stuff. But every time you reset, it would essentially kind of blank slate all of your skill trees, and you would have to then work your way back up, and like I suppose you could like screenshot all the exact skills and things that you'd taken, but it wouldn't just kind of like, well, we're gonna unlock things along the way how you had to. Eventually I just gave up prestiging because I just couldn't be bothered faffing around and redoing my skill trees every single time. And now they've done a system where kind of like a parallel system where as you earn XP, like once you're at level 100, you can then just prestige like you could, or you can just sit there at level 100 and more slowly accumulate XP, and it'll go up through the prestige system that way instead. But yeah, it's kind of like I just kind of skipped that whole system because it was so annoying to have to redo everything every time.
I mean, I'm not using...
It's the same in Warships.
Step 5. After 5, I usually do the grind up, but before that, I have to go through like 2, 3, 4. It's getting just that little bit there is annoying. I wish I could just skip the whole part.
So
should we do? I mean, I think the subs is going to be a bigger discussion. So maybe the methods of distribution and then the subs.
Sure, I mean,
that's a pretty quick one.
Yeah.
So the Alvaro is basically what's going to be available for what. We don't have quantities, but the Alvaro de Bazan, which is indeed Spanish, and it's going to be in the Spanish tree. What kind of Egypt that doesn't comprehend things would think it would be in the European tree? I don't know. Anyway, so somebody not fit to host a podcast probably. That's going to be coal. Tier 10, so that's going to be like 200k plus coal. Rio de Janeiro, as we've said, will be coal. That'll be a lot cheaper. Malta will be coal. And the Vallejo will be a steel ship. So there you go. That's a very short blog post. Now we come to submarines.
Back to the topic that just won't die. Just like submarines.
Yeah.
So they've now given us more detail. They've announced that previously they're going to split the hydrophone because Wargaming is under the impression that submarines were spotted too often in this game, and they wanted to change that. So that's what they said. Yeah. So they've now switched the hydrophone into two parts, one that only spots surface ships and one that only spots submarines. So now submarines don't accidentally spot each other. So submarines can now consciously decide to never spot another submarine, right? They are no longer forced to accidentally spot another submarine because, that would be bad, right? Submarine spotting submarine. So
I like how they use the phrase accidentally there. Like, use this consumable that like it's just accidentally. It's like when I use my hydro in a cruiser or whatever and I accidentally spot some torpedoes. Complete accident, not intentional at all. It's not like that's how it's supposed to work.
Oh, Wargaming never changed. Oh god.
So the surface spotting stuff has a 30-second action time and a 60-second reload time, which is pretty damn fast, and unlimited number of charges. And it spots between 7 and 9 kilometers. So finally, submarines can safely from the bottom spot everything.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to worry about running out of charges, as with every other hydro consumable, pretty much. Although I think currently they're unlimited, aren't they?
Just imagine you're DD, you're in a cap, suddenly get spotted by something below, be perma spotted, the entire enemy team is shooting at you, and you don't know what's spotting you because you should outspot anything on the surface. Imagine being the Kagero, the best spot, like one of the best concealed ships. I'm spotted. By what?
The hydro thing, I don't think it's actually spotting them, right? It's just updating the minimum position.
Right. That's right. I haven't played subs much, so.
As the submarine, you see the ship from underwater, but the other surface ships, they just see it on the minimap. It's still not very good for the destroyer if the enemy is capable. And obviously it allows the submarine to ping, right? Because they don't want the submarine to, I don't know, I guess spot for the team much. They just want the submarine to be able to torp from safer positions, I guess, and farm more defenseless people.
Yeah.
So basically, they want subs to be even stronger in the hands of people that know what they're doing, and less useless in the hands of people that have no idea.
Yeah, they want them to be slightly more useless because they can't. I guess what if two bad subs meet, right? Right now, they would use the hydrophone and then they'd spot each other, and then the teams would react and farm the submarines. Now the bad submarines will just never press the lower hydrophone frequency. And then two bad submarines can operate right next to each other without ever spotting them and just farm everything on the surface.
If anything, it's completely going against their a principle that was stated several times of, we don't want to overcomplicate things for players, and yet the state of subs is such that they've taken Hydro, which has been in the game since the beginning, and gone, right, we're going to have to split Hydro in two and have people remember to use which one, different ones at different times against different targets.
Remember one Wargaming
submarines.
Hi, you're playing CV, you can't control your own ship. You have to use our autopilot because you're too dumb to understand.
Yeah.
Oh, you're damage gun? Yeah, now you can't control the damage gun. You have to
planes
control it automatically.
But here's two kinds of Hydro. So next we're going to have, I don't know, high-frequency radar and low-frequency radar. Goodness knows what.
I also find it interesting that the surface spotting Hydro is ready at the start of the battle, despite it having a very fast reload anyway. But the submarine spotting Hydro, that starts on a cooldown, on a long cooldown. And then it also has a longer cooldown, obviously, than the surface one, because they really don't want submarines to fight other submarines. Except for maybe the special one, the Russian one.
They're going to put in. Yeah, they'll save that for certain special premium subs, which are really good at fighting others. I have no idea. I think there was something about the I-56 in one of the previous. It might even be this article. Yeah, it is. So they say that's going to be. We don't want it to really fight other subs, but we just want it to, fight surface ships. Also, it has a really super strong 140mm single gun with SAP shells. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. That's definitely going to make a difference.
Oh, look, the I-56 was the ship, I think, with 24,000 hit points at tier 8. And that thing's running into tier 6s, right? You can absolutely gun down certain tier 6 destroyers. They will have no chance.
Possibly could.
You have a very fast firing SAP gun. It's just one gun, but I think the DPM isn't that horrible. And if you're running into a tier 6 Fubuki or some torpedo boat, the guns on the lower tier, Ashima Kasa has reasonable guns still. It's not a gunboat, right? It's not gun by some, but a lot out of the lower tier Japanese are just really terrible with the guns. And keep in mind, the sub will have twice the hit points.
Good luck running into one of those in, Fubuki.
They can still obviously nose homing torp you, but maybe they'll just gun you down because they're cruel. They can also utterly ram you, and not even a ramming flag is gonna save you.
That's true.
So,
Fubuki's got 12,900.
Yeah, this thing has 24,000 something or so.
Yeah.
Let's double check. Let's see.
I think a lot of the European destroyers have also quite low health.
Fubuki has. Let's see here. Survivability, there you go. 15,000 with, I think that's with SC. That's with SC.
You can, and actually no, submarines don't have that, right? Or do they? I don't think they have a hit point skill. I don't actually know.
Do I have it? I don't think I even have subs in my. Probably not.
Oh yeah,
I do have some subs. Let's see here. Checking skill tree sign. Sure. Amen. Yeah, I don't see any. Nothing on the survival. No, survival stuff, at least.
I also like that they gave the Japanese sub like a reserve battery consumable, and their reasoning for that is because it has low dive capacity, so it now gets a battery to circumvent that. They're like, okay, for balancing reason, we gave this a low dive capacity. Yeah, we slap a consumable on it to counter the low dive capacity. Okay.
Balance somehow.
Balance. Just, because they like to keep it simple, right?
Yep.
Balance.
And I think those were basically the dev blocks, right?
Yeah. That's it. So
was it anything on the Wars portal? No.
I mean, obviously we've had the new patch with the economic changes, which is the big thing. Where what I have to say with the economic changes is, for me, the interesting part in the future is going to be is how are they going to distribute those whole tokens, because there's a lot of it about how the conversion went and how much you could gain before and how much you can gain now. But the interesting question is for me more like, as the game continues, will you get those bonuses? Like, yes, if you mount like those red bonus cards in every slot, it's going to be massive. But even in the conversion, you barely got any red bonus cards. No matter how many resources you had, no matter how hundreds of flags and camels you had, you barely got any of the red things. You might have some tokens now. By the way, you check your armory. I'm not sure what was converted in tokens, but some stuff that you had was converted in tokens that you now can use to buy one of those new economic cards. There's a tab for it somewhere in the armory, right? But the highest you can buy is also just blue. And the highest that you can resupply with the balloons, which you probably shouldn't do because it's expensive, is green. So white and green can be bought for the balloons, basically. And no idea how you get blue and red. I mean, there are obviously the boxes if you get lucky in like those the daily containers. But I heavily suspect that the thing is that the new system will absolutely allow you to get a lot of credits and experience and stuff if you have those cards, but they're going to be monetizing the shit out of distributing those cards. That's what I think.
If you think about it, the fact that those are now we now have separated for daily containers. You've got your signals containers and also your economic rewards cards containers, which also can just be it can be either the cards or it can just be straight up credits. So they've actually diluted the pool of possible daily rewards as well. So yeah, there is definitely that long-term question of how exactly is this going to affect things overall? Because at the moment everyone's sitting on a giant pile from all their converted flags, but how is that going to be going forward? So are people going to be worse off long-term? Like, the principle of it is I think fine. I like the modularity of it, that I can now go on like a premium ship and say I'm putting a 21-point commander in that premium ship, so I don't really need the extra commander XP, so I save those for ships where I'm grinding the commanders. But on the other hand, you could still choose to put that on and generate extra elite commander XP from that particular ship. So, it gives players a bit more choice overall.
Yeah, but what also is a downside of the new system, though, is that, like with the old system, if you got like a basic credit flag, you can slap that on your ship and you can stack it with any other credit flag you have. Right now, if you have like a green credit card, basically, or like if you have a gray credit card, you can't stack that with higher ones. So that if you never intended to use them, they are useless, right? If you intend to always run better ones, sort of, because you have them from somewhere, then they are utterly useless, right? Which means and I'm pretty sure they're going to throw a lot of economic bonus stuff into loot boxes and into bundles from now on. Because what they've basically given them is they've given them another rare resource in a sense, right? Because now you can, instead of having a special camo or ship or whatever as major prize. Now you can get the, 1,600% credit boost like for one battle. So those are going to be major prizes. And I suppose people that generally might invest a bit of money and get a lot of those cards, they will never have any use for the grey ones, right? So they've
I wonder if
made
you can
them
go and
also
sell them in
obsolete.
the. You used to be able to sell flags and things. I wonder if you can sell.
I don't know if you can sell those. You know what the game would need, or what a lot of games would have in a way like this would be a crafting system. Like if you have, 10 grey ones, you can make green one. And then
yes,
green
you
ones
can. You can. If you go in the inventory, there is now.
You can do that?
Economic bonuses. You can sell them for credits.
Wait.
Okay, you can sell them. You can't upgrade them or craft them.
No, you can't upgrade them. But
Okay.
yeah,
Because as I said,
so,
that
I mean,
would
in
make
theory,
sense.
you could accumulate the lower tier ones and just sell a dump of them for credits every so often.
Hey, at least they don't expire like in Water.
Sure.
Water has like expiration on almost.
Oh, the
every
War Thunder
box you
booster
get.
system. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's one of the many reasons I don't really. I've never.
The
really
only
gotten
ones
into
that
War
doesn't
Thunder.
expire is the ones that you buy in the Warbond shop. That's the only ones that doesn't expire. The ones you get for daily logins and stuff, that is expirable. So I've lost a lot of boosters. I make sure to use all of the highest boosters if I know I'm not going to play actively.
So it could always be worse, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's something World of Warships does a little bit better than War Thunder, I feel.
So
I mean,
I definitely.
yeah.
I think I take your point though, Atam, that it is really up in the air as to whether this is long term going to be a good thing for players. I mean, we've long known that wargaming has wanted to cool down the economy a bit. But the question is, how drastic a cool down is this going to be in terms of the player experience? And
I've always complained about credit income in the game. I think me and Majash and a couple others always complain on the CC Discord about how easy it is to grind ships and how easy to get credits now. When you play,
I mean, they did help
remember
themselves
back in the
by
days?
then by doing all the preview events of get ships without even having to pay
that
credits
as
for
well,
them with all the upgrades.
But the thing is, back in like the first and second year of World Warships, you could, if you played less than average in a Titan ship, you had to go down to Tier 8 to play some premium ships to gain the credits back again. Now you can fail as much as you want in Titan, you barely lose money at all. I think they're trying to fix that a little bit as well.
I think they have the super ships for that. They want people to lose money playing super ships, but not really tier 10s.
They know people have a lot of credits. Like me, I have 1 billion. Yeah, 1.7 billion. So yeah.
Oh, I only have
1.07 billion.
Okay. I have 1.4 billion.
I had 1 billion before as well, but then I spent a lot of money on 3 super ships. I think I bought
I didn't buy a lot.
DD and the BB and
I have a even though I play a fair amount, I always seem to just be perpetually running out of credits. So I don't know.
I mean, the thing with credits is a lot of it depends on how you play the game, right? And also how long you have been playing the game and how much you've accumulated. Because if you constantly grind new lines, you are not actually going to be having that many credits, right? Because every time you unlock it, and also if you keep the ships, right? If you grind a new line and you keep the ship and then you equip it with all the modules and so on, and then you grind the next ship and you want to buy it and keep the old one instead of sell it for credits and so on, that's going to be very expensive. But if you have a lot of ships...
But I do play a lot, though. But I have over 500 ships, and I have 1 billion.
But see,
but I play a lot.
Yeah, as I said, I also have a lot. But the thing is, I play a lot of ships that are not grinding something, right?
Yeah.
Basically, every time you play a ship where you're not grinding something, you're just making credits. But if you go straight through a line to tier 10, and the next line through tier 10, and next line through tier 10, then you're spending an awful lot of credits. If you have a lot of ships that you like playing, if you play 10 battles a night, and 5 of those ships actually are progressing something, and 5 of those ships are just ships that you play for fun, that already are fully purchased and so on. The line is in its end. Then you make a lot of credits. So I think it really depends on, first of all, how you're playing. Do you just grind new lines, or do you play ships that don't need it? And then obviously do you have premium account, what sort of flags do you have, how well you play and so on. So I feel like there are a lot of factors, but it's a pretty big divide on how much you could make. And especially for new players, I don't think it's gonna be that easy to. And they won't be so overflowing with credits.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we're all in the position of like I probably play the least of you three, but I'm still
Two.
You know, from my time as a CC, I still have like 2 years left of premium time. I still have all these premium ships I got. You know, we're in fairly privileged positions in terms of those things. So we're not necessarily, we're definitely not getting the same experience as somebody who is purely a free-to-play player or someone who's just starting out. So yeah, other people's experience, weirdly enough, may be different than ours.
Yeah, and keep in mind that, for example, co-op is not really awarded with credits. So if you like to play co-op, then you're going to struggle for credits. And if you are a new player and you just want to you're starting off with co-op, or try to grind through that at first or so, or get more experience in that, then you're also going to really struggle for credits, right? So so there's just a very big divide. On the top, there are people that are just swimming in credits and keep making more. And then there are other people who are just really have to grind for them. So yeah, there are some other bits and pieces that, I mean, we had the Awami came out. We had the San Diego came out in the last couple of weeks. Awami I haven't got yet. I did buy the San Diego. Awami's a cold ship, so I just need to save up for that. And the thing that's just literally come out today is the Aquila, and I think there's also the thing in the armory for the Edgar and the other thing, the Patry, the two super cruisers. There's a current armory event. Oh, and there was the Collingwood as well that's been released. So there's been quite a few releases of like premium ships and armory ships. What I don't
in the armory. Okay.
What I don't get is, why are they auctioning off super ships for credit?
Because people pay
again.
for it.
Is this just an early access once again? Like there's an early access auction for credits for super ships.
It must be. You know, like I've already seen one Edgar in game, but I'm guessing that's somebody that was a tester.
And I think the super container
there is
sold
one
for...
There's a doubloon option for 10,000 super containers, so it's not just credits. But yeah, again, it seems designed to suck big piles of credits out of the economy. But at least it's credits for early access and not here pay doubloons for a tier 10 tech tree ship, as seen elsewhere in the armory.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bid for like the 50,000 coal, go for credits. So if you want coal, you could bid for that if you have a lot of credits. And the super container, I think, is sold for the doubloons, which is totally not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it says starting at 1 doubloon, but who knows what people will bid for a super container. But
I mean, you're going to be super disappointed anyway.
Do you know?
Also,
bid 1 doubloon?
Patry's a battleship, and Edgar's a cruiser. It's like a super Minotaur. Yes.
Yeah, well, yes. I'll let you guys know if I win. I'm going to place bid 1 doubloon. There you go. Successfully bid. Okay, I'll let you guys know if it happens.
Okay.
For science.
I hope you got the receipt for the doubloon.
Oh shit! I forgot that. Maybe it's registered on my mail or something.
You need to claim it as tax deductible.
Definitely.
1 doubloon.
How much is 1 doubloon worth, though? Let's see. In Norwegian
Good question.
Farms. I don't think can you buy 1 doubloon?
I don't think
you can buy any amount of doubloons. I don't think there's a lower limit on that.
Let's see. Oh, sure. Any number of doubloons. Select amount. 1. No! Purchase temporarily unavailable due to technical issues. What? Can I buy 10? No. 100? 1,000? No. I think I crashed the website.
You broke the website, Clyde.
Oh, minimum quantity purchase 500. There we go.
Okay.
There is a minimum.
So that is 50 Norwegian kroners, which is in euro. That is
just split that,
1.5 euros. 1.5 for 500. So you have to split that up. Who want to do the math?
I'm too lazy.
Someone in the chat
we'll leave it as
We're all too
homework
lazy.
for the people watching or listening. Then, yes, as I think you already mentioned, Jedi Aquila came out. I have absolutely no idea about anything about this ship. It's a carrier, so I'm gonna hate it.
The description is. It should be said, this is not one of the more fictional ones. This was actually a ship that began construction. In fact, they were converting it from an ocean liner, but it wasn't finished by the time Italy ended. And for strategic, geological reasons, Italy didn't really have a great need for aircraft carriers, given that Italy basically was one giant, great big aircraft carrier itself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they did nonetheless actually have a go at building one, and I guess this is the what if of if it had been completed. Now, it does say that it's got, let's see, torp bombers and attack aircraft, and they are fast but kind of weak. So, I guess it's going to be a bit on the side of like Kaga-ish. Just throw waves of planes at people.
This is already 2001 planes, all of them. Yeah.
So yeah, AP rockets, and they're not particularly good. Torp
Well, according
bombers
to them,
do high damage, but they're also slow. If necessary, balance changes may be applied to Aquila, which is always a reassuring thing to read on a thing that you're about to purchase with real money or a real money equivalent.
I mean,
we haven't finished balancing it yet.
I mean, honestly, it's how it should have been in a way. Obviously, if you spend money on something, you want to be in a way assured that it's not drastically changed. But on the other hand, you can't, as a company, lock yourself into the thing that we're never gonna change it.
In a way, this is off the back of, I think, previous things where they have released stuff and it's proved to be horribly imbalanced, and really their only recourse has been, we're going to have to pull it from sale. So I suppose it's a bit better than that. I
mean, they never promised that they wouldn't change it. It was just an unspoken rule that they followed.
Yeah.
It does say in the Premium Shop, if deemed necessary, balance changes may be applied to Aquila.
As it should be.
So we'll see what that's like. Collingwood is the other one that I've seen a couple of. I mean, that's been on sale for a little bit now, for like a week and something. And it doesn't seem to have had any big impact. Like, I don't think I've really seen any videos on it, or it's just a Nelson with different guns, as far as I can tell.
Collingwood, I'm not sure if I've seen that in battle yet.
I mean, for those who are interested in a discussion on the British battle cruisers, we did have a quite an interesting in-depth episode with Drakina a little earlier in the year, so you can go and find that on either my YouTube channel or on your podcast provider. And he was severely unimpressed with the Collingwood, A, because it's got nothing to do with battle cruisers, and B, because it's a complete wargaming fantasy. And there are actually other things they could have done which would have had more basis on actual designs instead of just making shit up as they occasionally do. So, yeah, Drac was severely unimpressed with the Collingwood. It's got fewer guns, but they're like 16.5-inch versus 16-inch. And I presume it's just as squashy.
It says disadvantages: weak armor and poor torpedo protection, high sitting vulnerable citadel.
Yes, so it's probably just as squashy. I don't know if it has the super heal, but it does say repair party with reduced cooldown, so maybe it doesn't have a super heal, but it does have a quicker repair party.
But it does have a main battle reload booster. And they say HE and IP shells with impressive armor penetration and damage. Impressive.
It's probably just as much a firebug potentially as the Nelson can be. Probably more so if it's bigger shells.
I like the placement of turrets on the bow allows it to fire without the need to expose your sides. That's not true because they aren't all super firing. You could say that for some of the French, right? But with that layout, you would still have to show sides.
Also, with that armor of Nelson's armor, if you're sat dead bow onto somebody, get citadeled to the face if they have big enough guns, because that will happen.
Yeah, but that's tier 7. Everyone gets citadel to the face.
True. It's just the armor is so very exposed on Nelson. There's a lot of them you can angle a bit more, but not really with the Nelson that effectively.
I haven't played a Nelson in forever. I want to play the Nelson today. Been a long time.
So yeah, I don't know if there's that much more warships. I mean, a lot of the economic stuff is just kind of waiting to see how it shakes out long term.
Yeah. I'm still confused about everything because I'm overwhelmed since I was away for like 2 weeks, and suddenly all of these changes happen. I haven't read a single devlog, so everything fell into my lap, and also new ships. There was a lot of new stuff. So when I streamed the last time, I just played the game as I've always done. Just ignore everything.
Yeah, I mean the economics. You just click on the economic tab on your ship and slap in the cards that you have a lot of.
Yeah, and I was looking for the regular combat signals, like, oh, it's on equipment now. I didn't know that.
That's a good change because now you don't need a separate page, right?
It makes sense.
Oh, there's
and
one.
I do
there's
like
one,
the new camos. It's really good. I like it.
Well, there's one other minor thing that we could mention that we didn't know last time we were on, which was we didn't know exactly what the British battlecruiser torpedoes would look like, and now we do.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hard to describe. But functionally, they just look like they just operate like normal torps. It's just the launch animation is effectively different. They kind of curve away from your ship and then go in the direction you want them to. Which, it visually looks nice.
Yeah.
But it isn't anything other really than a launch animation that's different than the regular launch animation.
Yeah, you can't even look, like I'm looking for the torp tubes on. I have the Queen Mary import.
They're underwater.
Yeah, it's kind of weird now that you can't see torps.
So yeah, you can't actually you can click on the torp tube and it will sort of point you vaguely at the bow.
I wonder if this means
I'm betting Mac Cavity is hoping to see Mikasa with torps now, since he likes that ship a lot. He's been waiting for that forever. I remember he bitched about it a lot on Discord.
I mean, I wonder if that means they're going to be less likely destroyed if they're underwater.
I haven't noticed anything in the Queen Mary, but I only play like 2 games in it. So
I've only played one in it. That's the only one I've unlocked so far.
Oh,
yeah, same.
Played a single game yet. But then again, I've been away a few days, so I haven't had time to farm any tokens.
Yeah, where's that thing now? It is under... There you go, future British battleships. Yeah, so the next one is the Tiger. I guess everyone has torps.
I think
I would presume so.
Yeah. And they go St. Vincent, 20,000 doubloons. Damn it.
On top of the however many tens of thousands you need to get to that point.
Yeah, you've got to whale yourself.
Wait, can you get it? No, you can only get the Tier 9 and Tier 7 in the bundles.
You need the tokens. Like, I'm not sure how they did it this time, but in the last things where you basically needed the tokens from all the bundles. So you actually needed to whale all bundles, no matter how lucky you are, just to get the token so that you could unlock it until you can buy the last one. So you really needed to basically buy all bundles, no matter your luck, and then just a ship in the end for 20,000.
I'm gonna act surprised.
Or
I'm so surprised.
Here's a really weird thought. You could just wait till the following patch and,
and
wait till it's a proper tech tree.
And use free XP instead, which is actually free.
Well thought.
Or if you convert, obviously, but yeah.
That's, by the way, a thing with the economic things. There's now an XP tab that does nothing unless you... Like, there is, I think, there's Captain XP, Free XP, and XP basically only affects your ship XP, right? So, it has no effect anymore on any other experience. So, unless you're actually grinding the ship, it's an utterly useless thing, except if you want to convert it for the balloons.
Yes, basically.
Oh,
I think it used to tie into how much Captain XP you would earn as well.
Yeah, I mean, generally, when there was just XP, I think it tied into everything like free experience, captain experience, and so on. But now XP is only ship experience. So the XP slot is useless
XP,
on
So
most ships.
yeah, I've had to go through and I haven't even done more than like half of my ships at the moment. But changing all the economic bonuses because a lot of them are ships I've ground out already, but they still have the XP cards on them, which it's really only worth saving now for grinding lines. And as you say, if you want to farm XP on a particular ship.
Well, that's good to know. It's a lot of stuff I don't know yet about this patch.
I still think I still think the most XP. That's just complete aside, but I'm actually almost tempted to put it on my Turpits because my Turpits has already got like 1 million XP on it. So I might put it. It's 1.7 million XP just on my Turpits. So I might actually put the XP flag on my Turpits just on purpose, just because why not? So people can look at my Turpits and go, "How much XP?"
And then you can click on the convert button and see how many billions of doubloons you'd need to convert everything.
The gross national domestic product of Scotland just to convert it all.
Yeah, I think we've about covered everything there, right?
We have. Although I might also just mention, I mean, this is veering dangerously into the context of other games, but there's a game that came out this last week called Stray, which is about playing a cat. And that's definitely not of interest to any of us here, of course. But I actually very rarely just jump in and buy a new game right off the bat. But I did for this one, and I actually streamed it yesterday.
Stray game,
and it was jolly good. So if you weren't aware of Stray,
you streamed yesterday.
I did. I actually literally did stream yesterday. I know you were joking at the start, but I literally did stream yesterday.
Jesus, okay. Is that the VOD? I need to watch the VOD.
Yeah, I'll be on my YouTube this is totally me pimping myself at this point, but I'll be on my YouTube channel tomorrow. Just if you weren't aware, it's pretty good. Like the first couple of hours I played, it was really quite fun. And there's definitely it's not like a hardcore cat, role-playing game or anything like that. It is a puzzle platformer, but it's got some really cute touches, and the environmental stuff is really, really nice as well. It's had a lot of care and attention put into it.
Oh, it's not that expensive either.
Yeah, it's not. It's like that. I was aware of it vaguely before it came out, and I was like, okay, I'll probably stick it on my wish list, wait for a sale. And I was like, actually, no, that's like £24. It was something like that. So like that, I just bought it for £24. It's really, I don't know how long the game is. There is literally an achievement for speedrunning the game in less than 3 hours, so presumably you can really rush through it. But I mean, I played 3 hours just yesterday and sort of was barely getting to the end of the first section. So I don't think it's a super long game, but it's just a really lovely little game. So there you go. That's the thing that exists. If you like cats, you might like that game.
Definitely.
Duly noted.
And we're not even getting paid to advertise it. I thought it was quite nice.
And with that, I suppose we're gonna call it a night. Thanks, Clyde, for joining us.
Indeed.
Toodles.
Yeah, you can find Clyde on Twitch.
Twitch.tv ClydeThaMonkey. No, /ClydeThaMonkey. There we go.
Not to be confused with the other Clyde.
Right down, Clyde. Oh, Jesus. So many Clydes now.
Definitely.
The other Clyde actually became a CC now.
You just have to be like me, and just aging Jedi ended up changing his name, and clearly I was just so intimidating that yeah. So he thought I would send goons around to beat him up or something, possibly, or it might just be that lots of people use Jedi at the end of their usernames. So I don't know. One of those.
Well, you had Salty Jedi as well, was not?
Yeah.
Salty Jedi, Aging Jedi, you, and I think was there a fourth guy? Yeah.
I know
I
I've
don't
seen
know.
other random gaming channels that have used Jedi in their name, so I'm not unique apart from, being me.
The same. Oh. But there's not that many Clydes, luckily, so far. Dear Diary.
Yeah. And with that, I guess, have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.